Bob lived in Middleton
Honey, I'm home.
with his wife Andrea
Give me a kiss.
and their 5-year-old daughter Nicole.
Daddy's home. Daddy's home.
Things had been going on pleasantly like this for some time. In fact, Bob hardly even noticed when... Okay, I think they get the idea. He hardly noticed when symptoms started creeping up on him. On and off, he had a dry cough. It'd last over a week, sometimes even months. And he found that sometimes, even when he wasn't doing anything strenuous, he'd get short of breath. And sometimes, he felt a tight sensation in his chest and even wheezed when he breathed.
I don't always wheeze.
No, not always wheezing, but usually a cough.
Yeah.
Bob, you need to get back in the story so we can continue.
Oh, okay.
As I was saying, these symptoms didn't happen every day, and they came on so gradually that he found them easy to ignore. But Andrea didn't. She was getting more and more concerned.
Bob, it's almost 5 in the morning. You've been coughing all night.
No, I haven't.
Even Nicole couldn't help but notice.
Okay, sweetie. Keep pedaling. I'm holding on. You're doing good.
Daddy, you said you would let go. Daddy, you let
Okay,
go.
I'm back here.
Oh, my knee.
But what finally brought the topic out for discussion was what happened at the close of a Tuesday evening.
Oh, come on. Do you have to tell him about that?
Well, it's an important part of the story, Bob.
Yeah, okay.
It was a Tuesday night, date night for Bob and Andrea. After dinner and a movie, there was the expectation that the usual marital pleasantries would occur.
Bob, you're not responding.
Sorry, hun. I guess I'm just preoccupied.
With what?
Well, last time I got so short of breath.
I thought you were just really excited.
I was, but I mean, I'm not that out of shape. I mean, I was practically gasping for air.
I'll call in the morning and get you scheduled for a checkup. Now, come here, Tiger.
Maybe not. I'm sorry, hun.
So Bob kept the appointment that was scheduled for him later that week.
Bob Hayes,
That's me.
right this way. Have a seat. Dr. Seeger will be with you in a moment. Well, here he is now.
How's it going, Bob?
Okay.
Now, how can I help you today?
Well, I don't really know where to start. Last Tuesday, my wife and I wanted to, but I couldn't because...
Are you trying to ask me about Viagra?
It's not that really, it's my breathing. I get short of breath, I'm coughing all the time. Not like I'm sick, really. Just a dry cough for no reason. And sometimes I wheeze.
I see. How long have you been suffering with this?
I guess for a long time, but it's only once in a while.
Here, have a seat on the exam table and let me have a listen.
Dr. Seeger looked and listened and checked ears, eyes, nose, and mouth and chest and made several of those mysterious sounds that doctors make. And finally he reached his conclusion.
Bob, I'm fairly certain that you're suffering from asthma. And what that means is that your airways are very sensitive. They're sensitive to any number of things we call triggers. Now, that can be anything from pollens, molds, dust mites, animal hairs and skin, cockroaches, tobacco, or
He said I have
smoke, strong odors,
asthma.
sprays, colds, or infections.
Asthma.
Even exercise. Or
I
changes in
have
weather.
asthma.
You may notice some triggers that are worse
I have
for
asthma.
You need to take note of
I
what
have
they are.
asthma.
Bob? Bob?
Hmm?
Now, what these triggers do is cause the lining on the inside of your airways to get inflamed and swollen and produce extra mucus. And also, the muscles that are in your airways, in your bronchial tube and smaller airways, those muscles squeeze down and tighten. And all this makes your airways too narrow to breathe through, like trying to breathe through a small soda straw. That's when you get short of breath. There isn't any cure, but there are two kinds of medicines that are really helpful. I'm prescribing an inhaled anti-inflammatory for you.
Man, I have
They do
asthma.
They sound like they would do.
Asthma?
They decrease the swelling and
Me?
inflammation in your airways.
Asthma?
And that makes them a lot less
thought it was,
irritated
like,
and less
normal.
likely to respond to triggers.
Asthma. Me? Asthma.
Bob, you listening?
Yeah.
Okay, now the other kind of medicine is a bronchodilator. It relaxes the airway muscles. Now, as you can imagine, muscles can relax more quickly than swelling can go away, so this is your quick relief medicine, 5 to 10 minutes. I have a sample over here that you can take with you. Just follow the directions on the box. Now, Bob, you need to know that you've been lucky so far. About 5,000 people die of asthma every year in the U.S. With uncontrolled asthma, there's no reason why you couldn't be one of them. So you need to work together with me to decrease your risks, okay?
Okay.
Well, take these forms to the front desk and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Elizabeth, how are you today?
Are you planning on staying?
No.
Don't forget your bronchodilator.
Oh, hey, could you show me how to use this thing?
Sure, it's easy. Shake it a few times and take the cap off the mouthpiece. Hold it with the mouthpiece about 1 inch from your mouth.
Like this?
That's upside down. The metal cylinder should be pointing up, like a tobacco pipe.
Oh.
Blow out all of your air, and right as you start to breathe in, squeeze the cylinder down and inhale slowly for about 4 seconds.
Okay, here goes.
Okay, now hold it in for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, you did it perfectly the first time.
All right.
Now, just as easy as that, and you want to do this, is to keep it with you at all times. Just like you keep your car keys and your wallet with you, your bronchodilator should be with you too. Okay, it's been about a minute. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
The doctor said I could die.
Sure. Die, croak, buy the farm, expire, earn an obituary, pass on, pass away, eat it, meet your maker, conk out, push up daisies, leave the land of the living. Whatever your style, it's a real possibility unless you get it under control.
Oh, man.
Well, coming in was a good start. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
On the way home, Bob noticed a strange sensation.
Hey, I like this. Yeah.
Clear and 70 in Middleton, and on your radio it's sunny, 92.5 FM.
Honey, I'm home.
Hey, honey, give me a hug. Ooh, Bob.
Oh, that's my bronchodilator. Wanna see?
Oh, sure.
Later that week, Andrea read the box that Bob's medicine came in.
Bob, aren't you using this a lot more than it says to? And what's this unfilled prescription for?
I guess I don't need that other one. I feel great. Come here, tigress.
Ooh, Bob.
Bob kept his appointment for the following week.
How's it going, Bob?
Great, that bronchodilator really works. I think I need a refill, though.
Really?
What are you doing?
I'm seeing if the metal cylinder portion of your inhaler floats in water. Yeah, it looks like it's about empty. This should have lasted for at least a month. 200-meter doses divided by 2 weeks. That's 100 divided by 7 days. That's about 14 divided by 2 sprays per dose. So you're using this about 7 times a day?
I guess so.
Okay, well, what about the inhaled anti-inflammatory medicine?
I never really got that filled. I don't feel like I need it.
Well, a lot of people feel that way when they discover bronchodilators, but really, if you're using a bronchodilator every day or more than 3 or 4 times a day, or if you're having symptoms more than twice a week, that tells us that we need to get at the root of the problem, the irritation and inflammation.
The anti-inflammatory.
If we can keep the swelling and irritation inside your bronchial tubes down to a minimum, that in itself will give you a bigger tube to breathe through, and also your bronchial tube muscles won't be as likely to squeeze down and tighten, so you won't need to use nearly as much bronchodilator. Now, I want to give you a way to tell if and when you really need to use it. This device is called a peak flow meter. It measures how open your airways are by checking how fast you can blow air out. If your airways are narrowed, you can't blow air out very fast, and it reads a lower number. Now, if they're more open, you get a higher number. Based on your age, gender, and height, you should be able to get about a 500. Let's see what you actually get.
All right.
So stand up, set the meter to 0.
Where's that?
Right there in the number column. It stays at the highest number you blow, so you have to set it back to 0 each time.
Oh, okay.
Now take a deep breath and put your lips around the mouthpiece and blow as hard as you can. 350. Okay, set it to 0 and try again. And remember to keep your tongue out of the way so that you don't get a falsely high reading.
How?
If you build up pressure in your lungs with your tongue over the mouthpiece, it's like putting your thumb over the end of a garden hose. The water squirts farther than it normally would.
Oh, I see. No tongue. Mental note. All right, here we go.
Great. One more time. Okay, so the best of 3 is 400. Put today's date on this chart and mark 400 on the graph. Good. This is your peak flow diary.
My personal best every day?
No, overall. For now, that would be 400. So your green zone would be from 80 to 100%, so that's 320 to 400. In the green zone, just take your regular medicines. Okay, your yellow zone is from 50 to 80% of your personal best, so that would be from 200 to 320. If you're in the yellow zone, certainly anything under 70%, give me a call, and we'll see if we need to change your medicines.
Okay, so the yellow zone is 50 to 80%. What if it's below 50?
Now that's the red zone. For you, that's 200 or less. You need to get moving. Use your bronchodilator and call me immediately. And if I'm not available, go straight to the emergency room. You see, when it's that low, it's not too much further until you can't breathe at all. I think you know where that story ends. Okay, I've written your personalized instructions on your action plan, and you need to add it to phone numbers of people you might call for help. I put my number on there already. Have you got all that?
I think so.
Just keep this action plan with you and follow it. You'll be fine. The nurse will be in just a minute. She's going to go over an exercise questionnaire with you. You get any exercise?
I guess the only exercise I get these days is, well, marital.
Well, whatever gets your heart rate up. We're not picky.
Hey Bob, these are the questions the National Institutes of Health recommend that we ask you. Ready?
Sure.
Dr. Seeger says you exercise. How often do you do it?
Bob thought immediately if it's only form of exercise.
About once or twice a week.
And for how long do you do it?
Isn't it kind of personal?
Are there activities that you want to do but you do not do because of asthma?
Not anymore, really.
What new activities do you want to try?
I don't really have any problems in that way, you know what I mean?
What experiences have you had so far with them?
With who?
What responses have you received from friends and family members about doing these activities?
I don't really talk about that with my family.
Well, I really don't care for forms anyway. Just whatever you do for exercise, I want you to bump it up to 4 or 5 days a week for at least half an hour.
I'll run it by my wife.
She exercises with you?
I prefer if she does, yeah.
Well, don't let her hold you back. If she's not up to it, you need to go right on ahead yourself.
That must be one of those new experiences you want me to try.
Well, that's it. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bob had a lot to think about on the way home.
Clear and 70 in Middleton. A storm is headed our way later, but on your radio it's always sunny. Sunny 92.5 FM.
Well, hours, even days before you cough and wheeze, your peak flow number drops. If you watch numbers close, you can keep it in control and at the top. It's your information numbers in relation to the top. Peak flow at 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 the top. In the morning and the evening, get 2 weeks of solid readings, don't you stop. Write the numbers in your diary for future inquiry, keep it up. It's simple and quick to keep from being sick at the top. Let's go! Peak flow at the top. 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 Let's go! With your meter set on 0, stand up, take a breath and fill your lungs right up. Close your lips around the mouth, keep your tongue out of the way and blow it up. 0, 2 more times, take the best of 3, that's enough. In the morning and the evening, get 2 weeks of solid readings, don't you stop. Write the numbers in your diary for future inquiry, keep it up. It's simple and quick to keep from being sick at the top. Let's go! Peak flow at the top. 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 At the top.
Bob started using his anti-inflammatory inhaler and discovered that his peak flow often got up to 500 and even 550 occasionally, and he only needed his bronchodilator once in a while. Things settled into a much more relaxed routine, and that included Tuesday nights.
Hey, Tiger.
Hey, kitty.
Hey, I thought I was your tigress.
And soon pillows were flying and feathers were floating through the air.
Oh, yeah? I'll show you, Tomcat. Take that.
Ow! Hey,
And
stop
that.
Okay, no, Mr.
And
Nice
that.
Guy. Oh, kitty. Oh, man.
Are you all right?
I guess I'm all right. No, I'm not all right.
What should we do?
I don't know. Get the action plan.
Bob saw his life pass before his eyes, from his childhood and his teens and into his adult years. Then Bob saw his funeral.
Glad you could make it, Jim.
I'm so sorry about Bob, Andrea. Hey, what you doing tonight?
What?
Nicole's looking for you, Jim.
Daddy, you're home.
Hey, he's not your dad?
Hey there, Sugar Nose.
Sugar Nose? What kind of a term of endearment is that?
You know, Bob's life insurance left us with enough to get a couple of snowmobiles.
Snowmobiles? Oh, man, no! Get a fishing boat! A fishing boat! This can't be happening! Oh, man, I don't want to die. I've got to live.
It wants to know what your peak flow is. Here, do it.
240. 230. Get my bronchodilator.
It doesn't say to use it yet.
Get it anyway. This is a bad one.
It says to call Dr. Seeger.
Do what it says.
Dr. Seeger, this is Andrea Hayes. Bob's having trouble breathing.
Stay calm. What's his peak flow?
It was 250.
Did he use the bronchodilator yet?
Yes?
Check his peak flow again and tell me what it
Do your
is.
peak flow again, baby. His lips are blue.
200. 190.
Okay, I'm sending an ambulance to your home, and I'm on my way to the emergency room right now. I'll meet you there in 10 minutes. Listen, help Bob to stay calm. You did the right thing by calling me. I'll see you there, okay?
Okay.
The ambulance seemed to take forever, even though it was really just a few minutes until they were running red lights through the center of town, heading for the emergency room.
This is oxygen. You won't have to breathe as hard. Try and relax. I'll put on some music.
Well, you can tell by the early warning signs to get your action plan and your meds on time. Minutes 5 to 10 went by, your bronchodilator didn't satisfy, and now your beat flow still too low, half of what you usually blow. You think more meds might be right, so call and get some quick advice. Why you hesitating? No, there's no sense in waiting when you're staying alive, staying alive. Don't get in denial, pick up the phone and dial when you're staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 staying alive. Make the call. Now it's hard to walk and hard to talk, and even when you rest, you wheeze and cough. And returning to your routine groove, it's impossible, it's hard to move. You check your peak flow, still too low, half of what you usually blow. You think more meds might be right, it's time to call for that advice. Why you hesitating? No, there's no sense in waiting when you're staying alive, staying alive. Don't get in denial, pick up the phone and dial when you're staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 staying alive. Make the call. So what's the trigger? Yeah, think about it. It's best to get away.
Hey, what's that?
What? This pillow?
Yeah.
I guess he forgot to leave it at home. We were having a pillow fight.
Hand that to me, please. Goose down.
Out the window?
That could be what triggered the attack.
Well, you could tell by the early warning signs to get your action plan. Yeah, that's your guide. All the numbers that you need, like who to call in emergencies. You check your peak flow, still too low, half of what you usually blow. You think more meds might be right, it's time to call for that advice. Why you hesitating? No, there's no sense in waiting when you're staying alive.
Bob's symptoms eased off after that, but he was kept in the hospital overnight for observation. The next morning, he met the hospital's asthma educator, a nurse practitioner.
So, you had a little excitement last night.
I guess.
I'm Ellen. Dr. Seeger asked me to talk to you about triggers. I guess we know what one of your triggers is.
Goose down.
You've got it. So, you need to get rid of Goose Down from your home.
Hey, we paid a lot for those.
Well, I bet the ambulance ride and the night in the ER cost 10 or 12 times more.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
There are a lot of things that can be triggers. I'm going to go over a few things that might suggest what other triggers you have so you can pay attention and learn to avoid them.
Okay, hang on. Let me get a pen here. All right, go ahead.
If your asthma is worse in fall or spring and you have itching eyes, clear runny nose with it, pollen or outdoor molds might be triggers for you. If your symptoms come when you visit a friend who has pets in the house, or if you have pets in your house and the symptoms get better when you're on vacation away from home, you might be allergic to animal dander. That's their hair, flaked off skin or saliva.
Ew, flaked off skin. Yeah.
If you get symptoms when you're vacuuming, it might be animal dander or dust mites.
Okay, have wife vacuum.
If you're making a bed and your symptoms get worse, that's probably dust mites.
Okay, don't make bed. Okay.
If it gets worse when you go down in a damp, musty basement or to a vacation cottage that isn't used very often, you might be sensitive to indoor molds. Sometimes cleaning solutions or strong perfumes can trigger an attack. So, do any of those things ring a bell for you?
Not really, but I'll keep my eyes open.
Great. In the meantime, get rid of that goose down. Just that simple change might reduce your need for medications. And if you do figure out any other triggers, give me a call or Dr. Seeger, and we'll talk about it to explore what can be done to avoid them.
Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, also, remember that your peak flow will drop before you really start to have any of your symptoms. So use it to do some before and afters when you think you might have another trigger figured out.
Okay, sounds like a good idea. Thanks a lot. Hey, while you're up, could you turn on the TV?
Sorry, TV doesn't work. Got radio. In the hospital, we only get the country station, though.
I had an asthma attack, and they're making me listen to country?
So Bob stayed alive, and everything was better at the Hayes household. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Bob's story, and that you, too, will stay alive.
Pollen from grass and trees is high. I might be better off inside, where filters and air conditioning are. And I don't need any kind of smoke from wood or tobacco in my home. From those I politely told, I know who my real friends are. And clean air, it's the best for my lungs, it's just right. And clean air can be mine if I only try. Some triggers are worse, I know what they are. I keep them away, 'cause it's not all that hard. Clean air. You know I love my furry friends, but my lungs don't like their flaked off skin. And that's why they live out in the yard. And I know where little dust mites like to hide. My mattress is covered and airtight. My pillows and sheets and clothes, I wash them each week in hot and clean air. It's the best for my lungs, it's just right. And clean air can be mine if I only try. Some triggers are worse, I know what they are. I keep them away, 'cause it's not all